I've just gotten done with the tail feathers, and so I'm going to take these feathers off, but take that off. Whoop, dropped it. Put these two right there. So I'm going to actually bend it over a little so that I can fill in underneath the feather. You're going to go just like that. And now, push it down close to the tail. It still looks like it's away from the tail, but it's not really. And then I just take some clay and fill in behind the feather a little bit, the front of the feather. And I just turn it around and press it underneath the feather. And then I just fill in behind the feather. I'm going to do the same thing here. I know it's hard to see. I apologize for that, but there's not much I can do. You're just so far in I can get my camera. All right. There we go. And I'll just take the remainder of that clay and fill in behind that feather. All right. See how that looks. A little bent out of shape, just a matter of straightening it out and then working on this part here. Remember, when you're doing these sculptures and you're going to cast it in bronze or anything, you have to have it so they can make a mold of it and have it castable. If you make it really difficult, then it ends up costing you more, no matter what the material is. So it's a good thing to do. You can do it in such a way that it doesn't look like it's been filled in. And then see, one of the last things I'll do is go back over these little fill-ins and make sure that everything's copacetic and ready to go to the foundry. I'm going to try to get the feathers on the front of the horse now done. Once I get all that done, then I can start working on the hands, or the hand of the Indian. Alright, I'm going to work on the feathers and then I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to, just was working with this wire tool and the wire had become loose in the handle. This is the Sculpting sculpting tool that you get from Sculptor Depot. And before, if that happened, I'd just have to throw away the tool because there's no way of keeping that wire in the usual handle steady so that you can use it. Well, I just tightened up the little set nut and it's now back the way it was when I first got it. Just put on the first feather, filled in underneath it, and getting it ready for the foundry. And so I'm going to continue, and I'll come back. There's really not much to see except me working on feathers and putting them on. The nice thing about these rubber shaping or modeling clay shaper tools is that you can get in here and the clay behind the feather, and there's a lot of space between the neck of the horse and the feather. But I'm filling it in, and because of the softness of the head of this rubber tipped tool, it's just like having your finger back in there, blending it in and shaping the shadows to look like there's nothing there. You could actually shape the neck to the neck muscle to come up into the filler, and it actually looks like it's part of the neck. It's the darndest thing I've ever done. It just completely fools the eye. Even when you look back underneath it, you can't see that it's been filled in, even though it is filled in. It's just a great tool. This is a pointed one that's round all the way around and pointed at the tip. And it just is just a great tool. And then I just want to put a little break in the feather right there, and I just keep pushing in with the rubber tool until a little break appears. And it's not really cutting or making a negative space that's going to be hard for the mold maker to make a mold of. It just makes a little indent that will be easily molded. I'm going to put this feather here, right there, and I'm going to have it out a little ways from the head. So I'm going to fill in behind it, but before I do that, I'm going to put a lump of clay where the feather will go, narrow at the end that's closest to where it contacts the hair, flatten it out just a little bit so that the feather will fit on it, and there we go. And then with my rubber tool, I'll just come in here and fill in the back of the feather. And blend it in with the neck so that literally the filler disappears. When you're creating a bronze, you always have to think of the cost. Alright, all the feathers are on the horse. So, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.